Hello Team Grade 5, it's Miss Alia here again, and it's time for us to do Grade 5 Science. Today's topic is the animal kingdom, but just in case you're not feeling motivated, remember the words of Marie Curie. Nothing in life is to be feared, it is only to be understood. So grab a pencil and a notebook, get settled, we're about to start. To begin today's lesson, boys and girls, we're going to play a game of What Am I? This game is one of my favorite games to play. It's very simple. I will give you clues, and after I'm finished giving you the clues, you will tell me what animal am I speaking about. Listen very closely. I'll begin. The first clue is, I use mud as my sunscreen. I give huge hugs with my trunk. What am I? If you guessed elephant, then you're correct. The next clue is, I am sticky. My diet includes insects and worms. My young is called a tadpole. What am I? If you guessed frog, give yourself a clap. Very good. The third clue is, I have 3 hearts. I am a great problem solver, and I have 8 tentacles. What am I? If you guessed octopus, then you are correct. Very good. The final clue. I need the sun to fly. I have 3 pairs of legs. I can distract predators with my colorful wings. What am I? If you guessed butterfly, then you are certainly correct. For those of you who guessed all the correct answers, you're brilliant. Continue to shine. Now let's move on to discuss the animal kingdom even further. Did you know that the animal kingdom is separated into 2 main groups? These groups are called vertebrates and invertebrates. I know you would have heard these names before, but let's do a quick recap. Vertebrates are animals that have a backbone. They have a firm body because of the muscles that connect to their skeleton. While invertebrates are animals that do not have a backbone. They have soft inner bodies which are held in a shape by a flexible covering of outer shells or by a hard covering called an exoskeleton. So the main difference between vertebrates and invertebrates is the backbone. Okay? Vertebrates have backbone. Invertebrates do not have a backbone. Let's move on to discuss further the characteristics of vertebrates. Vertebrates, I repeat, are animals with a backbone. These include fishes, amphibians, reptiles, birds, and mammals, including humans, are all vertebrates. Vertebrates share some basic characteristics. They have a hollow backbone and a cranium or skull that protects the spinal cord and brain from most injuries. All vertebrates produce by mating between a male and a female. Fish are the oldest known vertebrates. Most fish have a bony skeleton. However, sharks and stingrays have a skeleton made of cartilage, which is a strong and flexible tissue. Fish gradually evolved and changed into land animals. Mammals are the most complex kind of vertebrate. They feed their babies with milk and they develop inside of their mommy's tummy. They're also covered with hair. They're also highly developed because they have a brain that makes them more intelligent than other groups of animals. Now that we have a general understanding of what vertebrates are, let's move on to discuss the various types of vertebrates and characteristics for each. The first one is fish. Can you make your mouth like a fish for me? Let me see if I can do mine. Hold on. I bet you can't do that. Okay, now let's continue with the discussion. Fish, how can we identify them? First of all, they breathe underwater using their gills. So they don't have lungs, they breathe using their gills. They also have scales and fins. So they don't have skin and hair like we do. Instead, their body is covered with scales and fins. They're also cold-blooded, which makes it easier for them to live in water. And they make their young by laying eggs. The next type of vertebrate are reptiles. Reptiles have scales and not fur. They have dry skin and they usually lay eggs and sometimes live young. And they are also cold-blooded. Some examples of reptiles would be snakes and alligators. The third type of vertebrates would be mammals. Mammals have hair or fur. They give birth to their young. Mammals, the mothers nurse their youngs with milk. They have lungs and they need air to breathe. Mammals that live on land have 4 legs and ears that stick out. They are also warm-blooded. Some examples of mammals would be bears, cats, humans, and pigs. The next type of vertebrate we'll be discussing are the amphibians. Amphibians live on land and water. They have webbed feet that helps them to swim. They also breathe with lungs and gills. They are cold-blooded, so it makes it easier for them to survive in water. They have moist skin with no hair or fur. Some of them have 4 legs and some of them have none. Some examples of amphibians would be frogs and newts. The final type of vertebrate we'll be discussing today are birds. Birds are warm-blooded creatures. They breathe with lungs and they lay eggs. Their body is covered with feathers. They have a beak and 2 wings and 2 feet. Most birds can fly. However, there are a few birds that do not fly, even though they have wings. Those birds are ostrich and chicken. Now that we are finished discussing the various types of vertebrates, it's time for us to do a quiz. That's right, it's quiz time. For today's quiz activity, we are going to complete a table. The table has a picture of an animal, and we're asked to identify which vertebrate group that animal belongs to, and then we have to list 2 characteristics of that group, and also we have to list 2 examples of each type of vertebrate group. For the first picture, we were given an image of a whale. Can you tell me what type of group does the whale belong to? If you guessed mammal, then you are correct. A whale is a special type of mammal. Why? It lives in water, yet it is a mammal, and we know that most mammals live on land. Two characteristics of mammals are they have hair or fur, they give birth to their young. Two examples of mammals would be humans and monkeys. For the second picture, boys and girls, we see an image of an alligator. And as you know, an alligator belongs to the reptile vertebrate family. Two characteristics of reptiles is that they lay eggs on land and they are cold-blooded. Two examples of reptiles would be snakes and turtles. Now for the third picture, we're given an image of a penguin. And a penguin belongs to the bird vertebrate type. Two characteristics of birds are that they lay eggs and their skin is covered in feather. Two other examples of birds are ostrich and toucan. For the fourth image, we were given a picture of a shark. Shark belongs to the fish vertebrate family. Two characteristics of fishes are that they live in water, they have scales. Two examples of fishes are tuna and catfish. The final picture is a frog, and frog belongs to the amphibian family type. Two characteristics of amphibians are that they live on land and water, and they lay eggs in water. Two examples of amphibians would be a salamander and a newt. That has brought us to the end of yet another lesson, boys and girls. I trust that you would have enjoyed all that we discussed today. And remember the words of wisdom from Marie Curie. Nothing in life is to be feared, it's only to be understood. Until we meet again, do take care. Goodbye.